It on? It's on. You might hear me this year. All right. Let me, I didn't get the scouts' names, doggone it. Anyhow, let me introduce our participants. Sarah Hudson, our cat. Mike, he says just say vanilla. He's going to read Dickie Anderson's Bronze Star Award. Our colors are Derek Jager, Sam Simras, somewhere in that area. Randy Hahn, Paul Petrovich, and Scott Lampy. Our colors, Brian Davis, David Bills, Kalama, Ethan LaRoy, Doug Beckendahl, and Mike Berlin. So, we come together today to honor our loved ones. VFW and American Legion honor all service members from World War I to Afghanistan. To our service members all around the world. The community members that we have recently passed away in this last year. Jack Wicker, Maxine Neiman, John Armini, longtime resident but Longview Port Commissioner Larry Larson, Carol Selinsky Ryder, Gary Ryder, Forrest Fault, and Mabel Gwen Hope. That's how many I could dredge up and remember. Anybody has something to add to that?
Carol Jean.
Oh my.
Carol Jean.
Dickie, our honoree today, sister Carol Jean passed away this last year. So, I personally have family members serving. Navy Lieutenant Commander Dr. Michael LaRoy, now stationed on Guam, and Marine Private Mitchell LaRoy is in training in Rhode Island. I'm sure all of you have somebody. Today's remembrance of Spec 4 Richard Wilbur Anderson, killed in action in Vietnam 55 years ago. Dickie, as all of us close to him called him, was an opposite SP4 Specialist Force Stephen Roy Sargent, wounded in action in the Tet Offensive 56 years ago, and succumbing to his wounds days later. Sure got the right, I only got a little bit. Steve, he stayed out of the limelight for the most part. He liked to watch everybody and what they were doing and smile about the funny things and say oh my about the stuff that didn't interest him. And I guess he had a nice tricked out car, and he played in the band with Dickie. Dick, on the other hand, was Mr. Here I Am, with a big smile from ear to ear for everyone who had the honor of his greeting on any given day. Dick was drafted into the Army, took his basic training at Fort Lewis, and also his advanced infantry training. He made friends with other young men in the Northwest. These young men went to Vietnam together and joined a company. When his company was moving from one forward base to another, they were ambushed by a well-positioned enemy. Dick and his gunner assistant moved their 30-millimeter machine gun to a flanking position, causing the Vietnamese to reposition. This allowed the rest of his company to overwhelm the Vietnamese. Dick and his gunner mate were hit by a self-propelled grenade. When the action was over, Dick's buddies came to check on him. He told them, "Check on the guys that are bleeding. I'm okay." He died there on the battlefield from internal injuries. Mike is now going to read his award.
Anderson Richard W., Spec 4, United States Army. 2nd Battalion, 8th Infantry, 4th Infantry Division. Awarded Bronze Star Medal with V device. Theater of Operation, Republic of Vietnam. For heroism in connection with the military operations against an armed hostile force in the Republic of Vietnam, Specialist Anderson distinguished himself while serving as a machine gunner with Company B, 2nd Battalion, 8th Infantry, 4th Infantry Division. On 22nd March 1969, Specialist Anderson's unit was escorting a resupply convoy from Landing Zone Mary Lou to Landing Zone Bobby when it was engaged by a large, well-equipped enemy force. Despite the intense enemy's small arms, automatic weapons, and rocket fire, Specialist Anderson realized the importance of gaining fire superiority, exposing himself to the intense fire to better engage the enemy. As he placed suppressive fire on the enemy's position, enabling his comrades to deploy to better positions, Specialist Anderson was mortally wounded. His heroic actions inspired his comrades and enabled them to repulse the determined enemy attack. Specialist Fort Anderson's courageous acts, initiative, and exemplary devotion to duty are in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon him, his unit, and the United States Army.
Ready. Aim. Fire. Down. Ready. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Reset. Safety's on. Safety's on. For 5 minutes of being here, talking with you, took me 3 days. But that concludes our program today. Thank you.